She was 2 when I came into the world, and not happy about it. According to my mother, I was hauled out of my crib repeatedly and flung about the room like a rag doll. And while I never suffered permanent damage, I have emotional scars which still haunt me, and I've spent a lifetime attempting to figure out how my sister ticks. We grew up in a rambling 3-story Victorian replete with turrets, a library, a dumbwaiter, and plenty of places to hide, which was ideal when my mother went to work and there was suddenly a stranger in the house, hired to look after the kids. A succession of housekeepers kept my mother on her toes as one after the other fled the house, terrorized by my sister and outwitted by me. They toppled like dominoes as my sister's reign of terror evolved, and by the time she set me on fire in the basement, we had already gone through 3 or 4. Betty was brought in to wield an iron fist and keep both of us in check. It was then that my sibling and I joined forces. Because our hatred for Betty was more intense than our dislike for each other. And together, we were a force to be reckoned with. Taunting Betty mercilessly whenever my mother's back was turned. I knew Mom wasn't all that keen on her either, as Betty would often corner her to tattle on us or to let my mother know that we would all have to pay once we were at the pearly gates. "You're a lovely woman, Barbara Fox," Betty would say in her heavy Irish brogue, "but you're all going to burn as hell, as sure as I stand before you now." Mom didn't like her and would complain to my father late into the night, but she was running out of options because Jews don't believe in exorcism, and my sister was out of control. A cocktail party in the spring of '62 set the scene as the house filled with neighbors who drank to excess and the clink of martini glasses filled the cool night air. With Betty running ragged passing out the hors d'oeuvres, my sister and I were relegated to the 2nd floor with no real supervision, and we hatched a plot to drive Betty away and her mustache once and for all. Seizing on my sister's collection of stuffed animals, we strung several up by their necks using yarn from the den and headed to my bedroom, situated directly above the kitchen in what was once servant quarters, next to the back staircase originally reserved for the help. Silently sliding a window open was easy, and when Betty was heard washing dishes below, we dangled and lowered plush critters down to where she would see it in her periphery, which caused her to scream, and my mother come running as we pulled on the string, and the monster would vanish. Each time we did it, Betty's screams echoed throughout the house, and before long, my not-so-dumb mother put 2 and 2 together. "Don't make me come up there," she warned. "There will be hell to pay if I do." Shaking and crying, Betty weighed in on that warning. "That's what I've been saying, Barbara Fox. You're all going to burn in hell." Ignoring the danger, we lowered a purple snake down the side of the house. But my mother had been quietly watching and waiting to see the crime with her own 2 eyes, and immediately began to climb the wooden staircase, cursing and warning of the spanking headed our way. Panicking, my sister decided to run and shoved me out the window as she fled the scene of the crime. I toppled to the ground, striking a drain pipe on my way down, and by the time I bounced, my right arm was broken and my clavicle was shattered. But Betty was gone before I got home from the hospital, and Mom took a leave of absence from Dad's store, making it difficult, but not impossible, for my sister to torture me in new and unusual ways. It took a fork to the forehead, being stuffed in the dumbwaiter, and some bravura of my own before I sprinkled Drano on the toilet seat and waited for my sister to sit down. Her trip to the hospital was satisfying to me, and the burning left scars that she claims can still be seen should anyone care to take a look. "Words can hurt too," my mother would say after I began a lifetime of writing about my family. "Be glad it's not Drano," I'd say to her. "We all have different ways of coping. And by the way," I added, "Mom, you're a lovely woman, Barbara Fox, but I'll see you in hell."